Man, I really appreciate Twitter because it keeps me safe. What would I do without Twitter's Trust and Safety Council keeping Andy NGO, this mother version of Hastur, the Lovecraftian horror that if you listen to it, you become insane, you become hateful. But luckily, there is a bridge between Andy NGO and me. And that is Twitter. They make absolutely sure that they keep the evil at bay. Can you imagine how important these people are for humanity? Can you imagine what we were to do without the brave hearts and souls working at the Twitter overtime to make sure that only the correct information reaches your ear? But it seems that my faith in a multi-billion-dollar corporation might have been misplaced. See, I was thinking that they're going to keep us safe, but it seems that there are going to now be pedophiles allowed, according to Twitter's terms of service, to post their stuff on the Twitter. So let me get this straight. No. Let me see if I can follow, right? Andy Ngo is a hate preacher. He pushes those hate facts, and he has no place in civilized society. But someone that's a pedophile, a virtuous pedophile, mind you, they are perfectly fine. That's not that. No one is in the. Children are not a protected class anymore. Do you know what I love about this thing is like virtuous pedophile? Like what makes him virtuous? Because he hasn't diddled kids. He's not acting on it. So not diddling kids makes you a virtuous person. I understand. Wow. Holy shit. I must be the most virtuous person on earth. By the way, if you're not acting on it, is it like talking about it and normalizing it equals acting on it? Am I not following this? Like, is that? But V, I hear you say, aren't you for free speech? Is this not free speech? It's like, yeah, can I use my free speech to harass a pedophile? Like, that would be free speech. Like, can I use it to mock, ridicule, harass out of oblivion? Oh no, that's against Twitter's terms of service. I see. So we don't have free speech. We don't. Okay, so shouldn't we operate under the confines and the rules that we already have? And if you may say, then someone like Andy Ngo has speech that can somehow, maybe potentially possible lead to violence, then isn't someone that talks about diddling kids may somehow potentially possibly lead to actual molestation? I don't know. I mean, I'm following the same line of thinking, aren't I? All I want to know is which rules are we using? Are we going with free speech, and then can I use my free speech to express my disdain, disgust, abhor, and all of that towards the people that are not keeping it to themselves? Or are we using the trust and safety, and we're keeping people safe, and blah, blah, blah. Let's look a little bit at history first. A major, and of course German political party used to support pedophilia. And it's coming back to how who do you think they are? What German what Deutsche Übermensch might have been doing this? The Green Party, the one that won a landslide victory at the European Union elections. Oh, but V, this was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. Surely, no, it's from 1981. Yeah. So from 1981, apparently they wanted to push. To legalize pedophilia, sex between adults and children to be legal. But V, I hear you say again, at least it was just a discussion. They were just talking about legalizing. It's not like they actually do it. They were virtuous in their pedophilia sponsorship. No, apparently this came on the heels of other revelations which had prompted the report in the first place that another senior Green Party figure had once written about his flirtations with children while working in a kindergarten. Largely as a result, the party only received a disappointing 8.4% of the popular vote. And that's not the only case, apparently. Not surprisingly, left-wing pro-pedo circles sometimes facilitated real-life child abuse. In a lengthy Die Welt newspaper article published last year, an anonymous male victim described life on a 1980s commune with then-prominent Green Party member Hermann Meir. On the commune, the victim explained, Meir's pedophilia was open. It wasn't a secret, it was advertised. He told the Welt that he was sexually abused by about 10 men, most of whom were visitors attending meeting on commune grounds. Right. So how did they justify this? Like, what? How did they tell the German people? Because it's not like one day you just come up and say, you know what? Let's legalize it. They, of course, use the Nazi past. It's like, what? You don't like pedophilia? What are you, some sort of Nazi? Only the Nazis would make sure that people have their individual freedoms restricted. And therefore, if you do not allow complete liberty, 100% liberty, then you, my friend, are a Nazi. The period's experimental sexual climate led to shocking projects. Well, shocking for people who don't know communists. So actually, it's not even communist. Like, Stalin wouldn't stand up for this shit. I don't think Che Guevara would have tolerated. But anyway, some of which are only publicized decades later. In the 1960s, for example, a prominent sexual researcher by the name of Helmut Cantor created a pilot program in which he arranged for illiterate young teenagers to move in with 3 known West Berlin pedophiles in the hopes that they could then learn to live proper, unremarkable lives. In a later report, he explained that he believed the 3 men would do so much to help their boys because they had a sexual relationship with them. So why am I showing you all of this? It's because a lot of people don't believe that it could ever be possible for something like this to go mainstream, but reality has shown us that when things go wee to the left, and there is no opposition, no pushback, nothing to stand against it, you do reach a certain level of crazy. A level of crazy where the worst thing that you can possibly do right now in Europe, the worst thing, is to put on blackface, to do a Trudeau like this cosplayer did. Right? She cosplayed this League of Legends character, she did a Trudeau, and immediately people were outraged, they were livid. But if you have a picture of a man dressed in drag sitting next to a little boy also dressed in drag, and the man is completely naked, then, well, that is progressive! Very progressive. Would the Nazis have done something like this? No. Therefore, it is a moral good. That's how these people justify everything they do in life. They use the Nazis as a moral compass. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a Nazi at their meetings or something. It's like, hey Hans, how do you feel about this? I don't like it. Alright guys, we're going to do this, you know. Or Hans, how do you feel about this? I like it. Alright guys, no, we can't do this anymore, right? But the thing that pisses me off the most, the things that literally makes me angry, is because back when I was hearing Christians about the gay agenda, and you know, all of that nonsense, and I was like telling them, slippery slope, I'm still slipping. I am slipping on that fucking slope, and it doesn't seem that it's going to stop. Social media giant, the Twitter, has quietly amended their terms of service, of course quietly, because deep inside they know how fucked up is this. Discussions related to attraction towards minors to be allowed on their platform. So yes, the Twitter, which bans any discussion that is remotely against the progressive agenda, like telling journalists to learn how to code, you know, like mocking the blue check marks. There was this guy, I remember very well, there was this guy, which all he did on Twitter was he would take batshit crazy tweets from blue check marks, you know, like the type of all I want for Christmas is white genocide, and he would compile them. Like, he had this massive list with blue check marks saying the most crazy and insane things you can imagine. And what's interesting is he never tweeted something himself, right? It was just print screen and putting it up. He got banned for no reason. So like, that can't be on the Twitter. But all of a sudden, wait for free speech. It's like, listen, motherfucker, like, I'm fine either way. Alright? Either you go full free speech so I can express myself towards the virtuous people, or we don't have free speech, and then you fucking regulate even things that are abhorrent that even you agree with. Like pedophilia, for instance. Jesus. Discussions related to child exploitation as a phenomenon or attraction towards minors are permitted, providing they don't promote or glorify child exploitation in any way. I mean, well, that seems reasonable. Who's going to disagree with that? The Twitter Allowed noted that they would be okay with nude depictions of children on their platform in certain instances. What fucking instances? Can you name me one single instance where this should be permitted? Where members of the public should see a naked child for what type of artistic impression would there be? This? Is this the type of thing that, But blackface, no. Okay, we need to Trudeau, no, that, yes. Twitter's pro-pedo policy may have been implemented at the behest of Dr. James Cantor. I keep saying this. People don't listen to me, and I keep telling them, look, this is how the world works, all right? It's like the Catholic Church, really. You have the College of Cardinals, the people that interpret the dogma, the people that, read the Bible, read the holy texts, and they figure out what's what. And those are the university professors in academia. Not actual people from STEM that actually contribute something for humanity. No, the grievance studies professors, the colonial studies, these are, the useless forms of life that are the College of Cardinals. And then you have the priestly class, the one that is the connection between the church and the peasant. And these are the journalists. The journalists are the one that tell people how to think, how to interpret the world through the proper religious lens. And then you have social media, which is the Inquisition. Yes, they are taking orders from these people, right? On the behest of Dr. James Cantor, who described himself as a proud Jewish homosexual. Wow, you are bringing pride to the Jewish nation, aren't you, with this thing? I'm pretty sure like all Jewish people are like, yes, carry our name, Dr. James Cantor. You do good work. Oh, I'm so proud to be a Jewish, just like you. Well, at least he's not a Romanian, I'll tell you that. Cantor is a leading researcher and advocate for pedophiles, right? It's not the homosexuality that bothers me. It's like, okay, no, but leading researcher and advocate for pedophiles. Like, is this the line you want to draw? Is this, Jewish people, are you happy? I'm just curious. No, like, if he was a Romanian, I would be a little bit ashamed. I don't know why. I can't explain. It's irrational. I don't know. I don't know why I can't explain. But when I see another Romanian that would be like, yeah, I'm going to put myself mainstream, put myself right out there, put myself in the spotlight and say, you know what? Rights for pedos. And we're like, oh shit. Oh, fuck me. Oh my God. Other people will see me and think I'm like that asshole. And he refers to himself as a minor attracted person because, yes, we need a politically correct word for this. It's like, look, if you're going to change the name, you're not going to change the disgust that people have towards you. And I'll explain to you why this disgust exists, because children are a protected class. And when someone sees you, they're going to think, well, what about my child? It's like someone, trying to go there and push for rights for serial killers that are virtuous. And they're virtuous in the fact that they're not killing, right? They have these fascinations about taking a knife and going, but other than that, that they will never act on it. They're never going to do anything about it. It's just that, can you imagine like going into a conversation where people talk about that shit? It's like, would you be comfortable, sitting at the dinner table and, your neighbor is telling you, man, I had this dream one day, like I got your wife and I started hacking at her. Like hacking that meat. It's like, oh, but okay, I'm not going to do it. Like, I know it's illegal, I understand it's immoral, it's just that I get such a hard on when I start shanking. Like, how would you treat that person? No, seriously, like, would you want to associate? Would you leave your wife alone with that guy in a room? I'm legitimately curious. Many of us have worked with a group of such non-offending pedos, also known as anti-contact minor attracted person. I actually heard that some of them did eventually do the contact. I'm just saying, they argue that denying pedophile a place on the social media platform may lead to these so-called virtuous pedophiles acting on their impulses. No, listen, there are professionals, there are psychiatrists, there are psychologists, which these people can view, and then they can talk and share all the things that they want, right? But no, this is not okay. It normalizes it. Like coming from the left, that's like, oh, jokes normalize violence. The same people to like, oh yeah, talking about pedophilia, that's perfectly fine. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I'm becoming the boomer tier, and I'm like, well, maybe too much tolerance isn't good. Like maybe some intolerance every now and then. Like the same intolerance you have towards the Nazis. Can you leave it there, but also expand it a little bit. Expand it a little bit to pedophiles as well. Can we do that? Can we? Is that okay? Would that be an acceptable compromise? Oh my lord. I'm going to get in trouble for this video, by the way. Like, the algorithm really doesn't want you to talk about these things. And there are a couple of people that are absolutely livid. Oh my god, what do you mean you don't like maps? You're thought policing. Yes, I am thought policing the maps. Oh, but principles. Oh, but my children. No, but seriously, here's what I think about this. I generally do not care about it. Like, not my children, not my problem at the end of the day, right? I know they're not going to push this culture into Romania because we still have the Orthodox Church. And they don't have pedophile scandals. Not one that I'm aware. Either they hide it very well, or they generally don't do the ficky because our priests are allowed to marry and they ficky their wives. But what I am noticing is the hypocrisy, right? Like you constantly see the left. It's like, oh, joking about this normalizes. But with this, it's perfectly fine. Doesn't normalize anything. Interesting. And it's also the fact that it's going to be, and I am 100% sure of this. You're going to see these people that have the free speech and free expression to do everything they want, right? And when you criticize them, when you insult them, when you attack them, when you mock, when you ridicule them, you're the one that's going to be banned. This is perfect. What else could I ask for from Twitter? The multi-billion-dollar organization that keeps me safe, the shield from the evil, to make sure that I don't get to hear or to listen to arguments that they know they're bad. So I need to trust them. But it seems that this isn't a bad argument. This is perfect for me to hear. I rambled a little bit, didn't I? Holy shit, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm starving. Need to go eat. Do you like my haircut? I got my haircut for you, by the way. No, for the viewer. The viewers. It's like, oh, V, get a haircut. It's like, okay, fine, I got a haircut. Appreciate it.